Okay, when you start a file, if you notice right here, it says artboard. So if I go and go create, it's going to create this multi-page document. There's a bunch of reasons why you would do this. I mean, a million of them. You might be working on a control drawing and you have the turnarounds, then you have some color information, and then you have that. And then when I export this, and we'll do it in a minute, this is, if I export this to send to somebody, I've created I can export it as a PDF, or not export it, save as. I can save as it as a multi-page document. So when somebody gets it, they get a very clean document where everything's put together in multi-pages. Does that make sense? And look, and then you have this little artboard tool right here. You see that?
Yes.
So I can click that. I can click on any of these artboards and do our option drag, hold shift, and I can make new pages. Oops. Oops. Screwed up. Okay. Now I got to go back to start a new document. And then, okay, it's on 1, but like over here, if you notice, it's defaulting to 9 now. You see that? So I'm gonna put it back to 1. You just got to watch it, because when you do it once, and it, until you put it back, it'll default to 9. Let's go here. So I have my bio, just like we're talking about. Now, people are always going to tell you when you're talking about what I'm about to talk about, any of this kind of thing, they're going to go, Illustrator is not a layout program. Go to InDesign for that. Bullshit. Sometimes Illustrator, if I'm doing a 1-page thing, or even just like what I just said, where I'm going to send somebody a multi-page PDF to show them my work, it works great for that. Okay. Plus, I'm very comfortable in Illustrator. I'm not as comfortable in InDesign because I'm just not in it as much. I know how to use it, but I don't always need all that. Okay. So if I had my whatever, this would not be a bio because this would be way too long, but let's say it was. Oops. You're going to get your ipsum lorem or whatever it's called. I'm going to get rid of some of this. I don't need that much. Now, let's do this again. When you grab your type tool, you can do that and click, and type a word, right?
Yes.
Or I can grab this and I can click and drag, and it fills it with Greek type. But we're going to go, let's say that I have my bio pick, which nobody wants to see that, so I'll use something else. Let's say it's this. And this is my bio pick. Now, if I put this here, select both, go object. I think it's object. Hang on. Oh, text wrap right here, and then go make. And as I move this around, it will just put it into my layout, like a layout image. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, by the way, I think. So I could do that thing you always see like that. I could come here. Oops. I could come here, go. I don't think I can double click this and do it. No. So let's go here, go text wrap options. And I can come here. And right now it's at 6 point. All that is how close the type is to the edge. So let's push it way out. And then click out of here. And see how it's got a way bigger space now?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's all that is. Okay. So you can just not, you can adjust it. Now I could come in here. Object, text wrap. Oops. And I can start creating a nice little layout. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, this is something that's kind of interesting. Let's go grab And here's my bio now. I'm starting my bio. And let's go file, save as. Save it on the desktop. Oops, hang on. I got to go file, save as. Change it to PDF. You got to remember this. When you export, or it's really not export, but you think it'd be an export to get a PDF, it's not an export. It's actually save as. I don't know why that is. Okay, you're going to get this. We've talked about this before. I got it as smallest file size. If I send it to a printer, it'd be press quality. It has all these things. If you notice right here, it has preserve hyperlinks. So I'm going to go, you can do preserve Illustrator editing capabilities. I don't care about that for this. Embed page thumbnails. That's a good idea. Let's do that. And let's go save. So if you notice, here's my PDF. And when I go here, that hyperlink will work. Right?
Yes. That's pretty cool.
Hang on, let me see. I'm not logged in here. Hang on. Okay, so it just automatically makes the hyperlink active. Okay, now here's another little thing. You can trick it. And let's keep that. Again, I don't have any good typefaces on here, so forgive me for my type sins. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go. I'm just going to try and find a really fat typeface, which I think it's going to be Bauhaus, but we'll see. Let's make this a different color. Okay, we want to make sure this is on top. I'm going to get a different color. Now, I've never tried to scrunch it, but I'm going to try and scrunch it. Then I'm going to go over here to my transparency thing and put this at 0. File, save as. And There it is. See that?
Oh, that's cool.
I got the wrong link, but that you get the point. It went to the link. Okay, so what you're doing is you're tricking it by having that invisible thing on top. So when I go to touch that thing, it actually activates the link. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Yes.
Now, again, could be a really quick way to communicate something. So if we do this, let's do this. So I could have this and go to my this layout could have this could be speaking to my design process. And then maybe over here I start, and then I could start putting product sketches on here. And I just build a quick little, like this could be a case study page. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is
Yes.
really good to have. So I can, product, and I start and I do my sketches and however you want to language that. Really important that you show people how you work, I think. Gives them confidence that you're not going to be taking forever. And then, maybe another page. I can do this super fast. Then I really start getting into, and then I can start showing a little more finished product. I'd have a little text block here telling you something. And I start building this little idea, right?
Yes.
I mean, see how
Yes.
fast I can do that. And then it's like, then I go file, save as, save on your computer. Now, if I'm going to email this to somebody, if I just had a conversation with them and I want to show them some work very quickly, I don't want custom, just going to go through email, probably follow smallest file size is fine, preserve that, embed page thumbnail, save PDF. Okay. Okay. And they're going to get, where is it? It's nice. See, I've got my thumbnails over here.
Yes.
So then I can go here. And it's a nice presentation. And then I got my link. So this could take them to my portfolio so they could see more stuff. This might be something to just whet their appetite. Does that make sense? Oh, this is fun. For some reason, it's not landing on where I want it. Oh, that's why, because I'm not on plus. I need to be on add anchor point. Now it'll go. And that one's already there, I think. So I want to take this. And I'm just going to do this to measure. It'll just be easy. You can see it just helps you line everything up. Do you see that?
Yes.
And I'm going to grab this bottom. Come on, there we go. Change the Bauhaus. There we go. And then I'm going to select this, make sure it's on top. Select both, object, envelope, distort, make with top object, and there it is. So I don't know if you're seeing this, a million logos use this tool, right?
Yeah.
Now, you want to make sure the shape is where you want it when you start, because if you try and manipulate the shape after the fact, it just does funky stuff. It doesn't really see it. It rounded some stuff off and now it's just funky. Okay, pretty simple, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of cool things you can do with it. Okay. Again, really good for logos. Now let's look at this thing. There's kind of two things within this thing. That all makes sense, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we talked about adding texture and there's this other way of doing it. So let's just do this real simple thing. Let's go. Let's try this. Let's go to our gradient tool. Let's make a gradient here. And then I'm going to go to our gradient panel, double click that. Here's my, where is it? Where's my gradient panel? There it is. Now I'm going to go to the freeform tool. Go here. Go here. That's kind of cool. Go here. Let's say it's getting lit from below. And then let's go here. Let's go also go with a gradient. Only now I'm going to go to a linear gradient right here in the middle. So it starts from the beginning. I'm going to double click this. This is going to go to 0, the middle, because I want it to be able to see through it. So I'm going to go to 0. And this I'm going to pull in a little bit. And then let's go up here. Let's see if we can get that a little smoother. I'm going to lower that down a little. Now I'm going to go up here. Let's just put it right over it. So I'm going to go here and go to my align tool, line it up this way, line it up this way, and now they're lined up. Then I'm going to go up here to effect and down here to texture and grain. Most of these aren't that useful, but this one is. Where did my window go? Hang on. Oh, it's over here. So you'll get this window. And then down here, you can right here, if you see this, you got a plus minus, so I can make this smaller so I can actually see what I'm doing. I'm in stippled. There's regular. I don't want that. Wait a minute, I might be on the wrong. I gotta make sure I'm on the right one. Yeah, I am. Effect, texture, grain. Make it smaller. Yeah, that's good. And we get this nice textured. that make sense?
Yes.
Really simple, right? But you guys probably have seen this a million times too. I see it all the time in like these kind of graphics where it's like a sun and everything's bright and they put a lot of grain on it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Now you could go through all these, color burn, whatever, and see if any of them work better. It's like we always do. Right now the multiply is working fine. You don't want to lose all your grain. So there's all these different ways of doing it. Okay, that makes sense?
Yes.
So let's look at something else here. I think that's the only other thing I want to go through. Hang on. Remember the smart guides, you guys. It really does make your job easier. But sometimes to me, they're annoying. So you can either go up to view and just turn them off, or you can just go control U and that'll turn them off. And then control U will turn it back on. Okay. Because sometimes I don't like all that stuff popping up, but sometimes it's really helpful. You know, just for lining, because it'll line up the edge of something in the middle of it, anything you want. So let's go. Like with this, if I go up here, I make some mountains. When I go there, you can see that's where it lines up with the other line. So then I can just do that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Now let's smooth that out a little bit. Let's make a mountain here. Let's make something simple. God, I hate it when it does that. Let's just say this is a mountain. Okay, so let's go. Let's put a lake here, a really crappy lake. Let's do this. Send this to back. Now remember, if we want to make this wider, you got to not have anything selected. You'll get this document setup button. So we haven't talked about this a long time. Edit artboards. And you get your crop thing. I don't know why they made that so hard to find, by the way. And I'm going to group this. I'm gonna, what do you call it? Mirror it. Oops. Then we'll do this interesting thing here. So let's select that off. Now we have this. Now I'm going to pull a square. You can see it told me that I was on the right line there. Now I'm going to put a gradient on it. And then I'm going to go to my gradient tool, pull it this way. Probably not so strong. Then I'm going to select I'm going to lock this off too. I'm going to select these two things. Okay. So I've selected the gradient and the reflection of the mountain. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then right here in your transparency window, you see how it says make mask?
Mhm.
It made a mask, and now I can click this and I can dial in my reflection. You see that? So we're reflection now.
Oh, that's nice.
Now, whenever, okay, so now I'm in this mask. So when I try and do something, see how it's moving around within the mask?
Yes.
Okay, so when I don't want to do that, then I got to click out of that onto this. That's just the regular thing. So now if I move it, it'll just do that. Okay. Now let's take this. I'm going to get rid of this because I don't think I need this for this. Let's do the same thing here. Do that. Let's do it. Let's try it this way. Actually, probably be the other way. Back up to our effect, texture, oops, grain. He's right there. I could put a little texture on there. Right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Then we could go, we'll do this really half-ass. Screwed up. Oh, God, I'm still not used to Windows. Do you think I would be by now? I'm going to lock this just so it doesn't grab this. I'm making a little boat here. Close enough. Oops, this should be in back. Yeah. Forgive my crappy boat. Oops. Group it. Now, the reason I'm putting this here is as soon as I put something over that reflection, it will become more of a reflection. I keep a little blue in there. Go to my brushes. Let's try that one. So that looks like more of a reflection when something's floating on the surface.
Yeah.
So it's the word reflecting and then something cutting the reflection. Boom, it sells it. Okay.
Do you also do like the reflection of the boat or no?
Yeah, let's do that. It's a good point. Now here's the reality. The water would be too choppy
Mm,
because the boat's cut through the water. Once it gets that choppy, it doesn't really reflect anymore. Here's the other thing with water. It depends on where you're seeing it. So if you ever notice, if you're standing on the shore of a lake, what you really see is basically the sky and things reflecting down into it. That's why it'll get sort of a bluish cast, right?
right.
But if I'm standing on a dock looking down into the water, I will see down to the bottom, right?
Hmm.
So it's all about angle of view, how you handle water right now. Some of that you just let it do what it does and use it as design. It's fine. But let's get this. Oops, let's get this guy. Now what I'm going to do, I don't need to. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reflect this. What just happened? There it is. Now I can do it one of two ways. I can either just pull it back here, and that'd be fine, or I can do it the same way I just did the mountains. And in that case, I'd probably, I just do it like this. Oops. Lock this. Grab this. Make mask. There it is. And if I wanted to make it less, just go back here, select my mask, go back to here. Maybe just have a little bit showing. Yeah, that is better. Doesn't matter. That wouldn't happen. Who cares? And then I could go, maybe there's a more of a shine on here. Oops, I'm still in the mask. I don't want to be in the mask. So now I probably just lost what I did. I'll bet you. Yep. So now I got to go again. Got to make sure you click out of that mask. Okay. Otherwise you're in the mask. So you don't want to do that. So let's go here, here. And I want to try something. Sometimes out in the distance or even closer, you'll get that little shimmer. So sometimes I'll use this to kind of do that. You know, I can just do stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then I'd start doing this. Let's start like maybe giving it a shoreline. Oops. Shoreline edge. Damn it. Up the Pathfinder. Probably don't need this one. and start doing all that stuff.